Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and today we're doing another freezer meal. It has been requested by plenty of people that I do a few more freezer meals throughout the month. So this month, I actually hosted a freezer meal workshop for the ladies of my church, and this was one of the recipes that we did. So today we're gonna do sausage gumbo. It's gonna be a freezer meal, and we're also gonna cook it so you can see how it turns out. Are you ready for this adventure? Let's get started. What you're going to need is 12 ounces of smoked turkey or kielbasa or chicken or some kind of kielbasa type sausage. You're going to need 10 to 12 ounces of fresh or frozen okra. Zucchini or green beans works just fine in case you aren't an okra lover. 1 medium onion chopped, that's about 1 cup. 1 red bell pepper chopped, that's also about 1 cup. 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, a 28-ounce can of diced tomato, keep those juices, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, and 2 dashes of Tabasco sauce. Now, if you have never made a freezer meal before, you are in for a treat. So basically, these meals are ones that we can put together quickly when we have some time during the week, get them into our freezer, and then they can go into the vessel of your choice very quickly on those days when you just have a little less time. So this one is a really great one for those of you who like a gumbo type stew, and it is so quick to throw together and put it in the Instant Pot. You can put it in frozen. I know, it's amazing. So what we first want to do is label our bags. So I have 2 Ziploc bags here. One of them is going to have the label, and I'm going to write the label and the time on it. So I'm going to write gumbo, and I'm going to say 10 minutes, and then I'm going to do 10 minutes NPR. Now that means 10 minutes in high pressure, 10 minutes natural pressure release. Now this is from frozen, so I'm gonna write frozen because I seldom have time in my busy schedule to defrost something, or rather maybe I should say I never think about it ahead of time. So I love freezer meals that can go in frozen, and this is one of those. However, if you are a defroster and don't like putting frozen things in there, that's fine. You would just write defrost on yours, and then it is a 9-minute pressure with a 10-minute pressure release. Just 1 minute difference. Now, when it's coming to pressure, that's a different story. It does take a little bit more time to come to pressure, but you will get the same results regardless. So let's put the labeled one off to the side for a second. And I have another little baggie here. I'll tell you about that in a second. And we're gonna get something that's going to hold up our meal. Now they have those fancy little clips that hold up bags. I don't trust those very much, so I like to do it in a crock, or as you see me before, a jar. But I found these crocks at Walmart for like $8, and I'm like, this is perfect. It fits my whole meal, and it's amazing. So into this bag, we're gonna put all of our ingredients. So let's start with our can of diced tomatoes. Does it matter what size diced tomatoes you use? Not really. You can actually use the Italian diced tomatoes as well and give it a little bit of an Italian flair, but just regular Joe average diced tomatoes is all you're really going to need. Open it up, juices and all, right into our container. Next, we're gonna put in our frozen okra. Whoa, and try not to spill it all over the place. Now, I mentioned at the beginning here that if you are not an okra lover, you still might want to try this recipe because yes, okra tends to be slimy when it's not cooked correctly, but in this, it tastes really good. Just trust me on this. But if you can't get past the fact that it has okra in it, no worries. You can substitute both zucchini or green beans. But I will tell you that I don't recommend putting fresh zucchini in the freezer and then putting it in the Instant Pot. That's way too much pressure, under pressure. You would have to cook it from fresh in order to use the zucchini. However, the green beans work perfectly, and you can just put both of your green beans, just put 2 cans of green beans right in, and it will work absolutely fantastic. So our okra has gone in. Now we're gonna do our sausage. And today I'm using chicken sausage because I love me some chicken sausage. We're also gonna put in all of our onion. all of our bell pepper. And again, if you have leftover bell pepper, I love this recipe for leftovers because if I have leftover bell pepper, any bell pepper will work in this. It asks for red, but I have had all of them work fantastically in this. So just put the bell pepper you have in your house in here. Next, you're gonna put in your garlic and your Worcestershire sauce and your Tabasco. Oh, that Worcestershire was strong. Hold on. Now, there'll be some people who ask, you know, do I need to put in the Tabasco? Yes. It doesn't make it hot. It just gives it the acidity that it needs to kind of bring it all together. Finally, we are going to put in 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. And that's it, you guys. This meal is done. So we're going to pick it up out of our crock. We're going to set it down. We are going to zip it almost all the way up. And then we are going to push out as much air as we can. And then we're going to seal the rest of it. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. And then we're going to get it into our second bag. And the reason is because when this defrosts, it may leak out just a little bit, but this will ensure that your refrigerator will stay clean. And then you seal it up and ta-da, you have a freezer meal in less than 4 minutes. Now, Heather, I hear you saying, you had all of your stuff already cut. Okay, I hear you. But how often do you have leftover veggies in your refrigerator that are gonna go bad because you don't have anything to do with them? We use a lot of peppers in this house, and peppers is one of those things that I constantly have leftover of. And if I don't slice them up and get them into a meal like this, they won't get used. Same with onions. If I have prepped a lot of onions ahead of time, if I freeze them in portions and be like, okay, I wanna make that sausage gumbo, I need a cup of onion and I need a cup of bell pepper, I can actually take the cup of both of those things, put them in small bags, stick them in my freezer so that when I'm going to make this meal, all I have to do is put the frozen things in along with the frozen okra and get it in there, and it's even faster than the 5 minutes that it just took us to put it together. Now, traditional gumbos, I know, I hear you yelling at the screen. Those of you from the South know that gumbo usually has rice in it. That's what this little bag is for. Now, if you have already pre-done rice, like you've seen me do in the past, you get the pre-packaged rice, you can actually take that pre-packaged rice, you can tuck it right down the outside of this pouch right here. So store it all together like this, and then get it into your freezer. When this comes out again, you're gonna, pressure cook or slow cook or cook on your stove, whatever you're fancy. There are a few options in the directions that you can find on my website or in the info of this video, but you would want to take the rice out, and if it's already cooked and pre-packaged, then you would just, let it defrost at room temperature or whatever while this cooked, and then get it in the microwave and warm it up and then combine it all together. You don't have to have rice with this. I know it's kind of sacrilegious to say that, but you don't have to. It's not required. This is a great soup aside from having any rice. You can also just store your cup or two of rice in here, and uncooked rice stores great in your freezer. So you'll have it and then you'll be like, oh, I need to make rice too. Okay, good note. And then you make the rice while this is ready to go. So since I knew this day was coming and we just did this meal at the Freezer Meal Workshop, I have another one ready and frozen to show you how we cook it together. All right, and this is what the meal looks like when it comes out of your freezer. Now, if you were going to, say, put it in your Instant Pot, like I usually am, you would probably want to freeze it in your Instant Pot size. That way it goes down into your Instant Pot a little better. You've seen me before struggle with getting things into my Instant Pot because I didn't freeze them right. I never learned. But that's okay because this will fit anyway, and I'll show you. We just have to break a few pieces off and stuff it in there. Okay, this is the first thing you're gonna wanna do is take off your Instant Pot lid. We're gonna add 1/4 of a cup of water. This will just help the pot to come to pressure because we are putting in a frozen meal. Now I am going to take this out of the bag, as you can see here, It is well labeled with all of my directions. I printed out labels for everybody at the freezer meal workshop. So it tells me I need to defrost this, pressure cook for 9 minutes at high pressure, then allow 10 minutes for natural pressure release, or cook on high for 3 hours or low for 4 to 5 hours in a crock pot. Now, because I'm a bit rebellious and I know that I can cook it from frozen, I put this there for my gals because it's just a little easier than trying to fit meals into a small pressure cooker. Most people don't have this large of a pressure cooker. So I kind of took I eliminated the cook from frozen on their labels because they wouldn't have been able to fit this whole thing in there. But because I use my big one, it will fit in just fine. So this is the inner bag, the one that's not labeled, and I'm just gonna break the bag open. And I am going to stick our whole meal right down inside. All right, there we go. And we are gonna seal the lid, and I'm gonna set it for 10 minutes. At the end of 10 minutes, go ahead and let it natural pressure release for another 10 minutes, and then I'll be back to show you the results. Also, get your rice ready. See ya. Okay, the time is up. My rice is cooked. Remember my packaged rice? If you saw that video, you know exactly what that is. And now we just have to release the remaining pressure. And once the pressure is down, time to show you the results. Look at how beautiful. So if you're going to mix some rice inside of your pot, go ahead and make sure that is hot and cooked. And spill it all over the floor. Oh, the dog's gonna like that. Okay, well that was fun. Half of it got into the pot anyway. I can't even stand there, it's all over the ground. Hold on. We're gonna take our stirring, whatever we're gonna use to stir with, and we're going to stir in our already cooked rice. And then you guys, dinner is served. So, in a little more than 20 minutes in our Instant Pot, we have sausage gumbo. Check it out. Look at how wonderfully hearty this soup is. It's amazing. And it tastes amazing. I hope I don't burn my face off. Although it has been sitting in here for 10 minutes plus, it'll be fine. If you like extra spicy, add some more Tabasco. But otherwise, this is dang good. If you don't like okra, this is the perfect recipe for you to try because there is zero slimy in that okra. Everything about this screams Cajun or Arcadian, as we now know. There's a nice bit of spice that hits you in the back of the throat, but it's definitely not like out of this world spicy. It's nice and hearty, and it was so easy to make. There is nothing about this recipe that would prevent you from making it vegetarian if you wanted to. So you could use some vegetarian sausage or no sausage at all. Maybe just add a little bit more Worcestershire so that you can get kind of that umami flavor because that's what the Worcestershire gives. But this is a great recipe, an awesome one for your freezer, and it's totally delicious. All right, you guys. Well, if you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week, and I'm always looking for the next adventure. And some of you love these freezer meals, so I'll be doing another couple throughout the month, and I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you put this meal in your freezer, because if you like jambalaya at all, this just might meet your fancy. So, without further ado, we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye. And now I will clean up that mess with the dog.